right, you're 1 week out from the Tri Battle, and we've been pretty quiet. What's taking so long?
Well, 9 hours travel change is part of the problem, trying to adapt to that. And obviously 15 hours in an airplane and just taking some chill time. But otherwise, nothing, no reason for being quiet other than that.
Let's talk about the Tri Battle. Kind of the week leading into the race, you updated everyone with the Race Week series. We kind of haven't heard from you since the gun of the race. Talk to us a little bit about race morning.
Oh, it was a great experience. The whole week was great. I got to see Jan up close and personal. I got to see how he operates, how he thinks. And, the big take home certainly is that there are still levels to go. He is at a different level, both obviously on the race course. You see that level, but you don't really see, I think, the different level behind the scenes. And certainly that is contributing. Now, don't get me wrong, he's an exceptionally hard worker and exceptionally talented, but he also has an amazing process, an amazing team around him. And I got to observe that firsthand and see that, my team is doing great. I think I'm doing a good job, but there certainly is more that we could be doing. We could be devoting ourselves more. We could be more professional. We could be more serious about this. And it takes seeing the different levels out there in order to realize that, right? If you just shy away from the best guys in the world, then you never really kind of see what they're doing and how they're going about doing it and the level of commitment that they have. So that was the main reason for doing this race. I mean, we can probably be more honest about the real, how the race came about now that it's over. The reality is this was in the works for over a year. Jan was going to do this world record attempt last year and then crashed, broke a rib or something and was unable to do it. And so then it was replanned to do this summer. And after Miami, I think he enjoyed, even though I didn't really actually push him any, he enjoyed having the mental push of the possibility of being caught and pressured. And so I think after that race, he thought, hey, you know what? I would be a good person to have around to push him to another level and keep him honest on the day, because an Ironman is a long way to go solo. And so that's kind of how the head-to-head battle came about. But the reality is it was always Jan going to break the world record that he already possessed. And I think from a sponsorship standpoint, it was probably more interesting to have a head-to-head component because Jan already possessed the world record. And he just wanted to take it down even further and take basically all of the possibilities, all of the human potential down. And so I knew this. And I knew what I was getting myself into, and I knew that it was an opportunity of a lifetime and something I would never pass up. And so obviously I would, after Coeur d'Alene, inside you're kind of like, I don't know what I got myself into. I did over 9 hours for an Ironman, and now you're going to go up against a guy who is going to basically do something that's never been done before. This could be really embarrassing. So fear comes in, and so the only thing I could really do, I couldn't get any fitter, certainly. The only thing I could do was make sure that I had a better handle on the nutrition strategy. And I think going from 9:10 or whatever I was 3 weeks prior down to sub 7:45 is proof that I had a better handle on the nutrition. But I'm not going to kid myself. The reality is the conditions were much different. It was significantly cooler, and I've always done well in significantly cooler races. So I'm not going to go ahead and say, I've got it all figured out. But certainly I have a much better handle on things. And, when I realized out onto the bike that I would not be catching Jan, I kind of had to retailor my goals to just don't walk, really. I've walked 5 straight Ironmans, and I'm getting sick of it. I think it's, there's nothing wrong if you walk in an Ironman, but when you're a professional, you devote your life to something. I literally don't do anything else. To walk 5 straight times, unfortunately, if you want to continue to be in the mix, to be in the conversation, then I think you're going to have to end that. So that became my goal. And everything I did was really just pacing-wise and nutritionally was geared towards not walking.
A massive takeaway from this event, not only for you, but I think even all of your followers, is a lot of people had you coming at it as a deficit of more than 7+ minutes, and you were able to have, I would say, arguably a lifetime PB on the swim, but not only a personal best. You did the entire thing solo. Are you happy with your swim and your progression and where it's come at now?
If you asked me this question 5 years ago, I would have said this was a life dream to swim 50 low. But now it's like, it's okay, whatever. I would not know. I'm not very happy with it. I feel like I actually didn't swim that great on the day. But, you have to give yourself credit. I raced Jan in Kona in 2015, and I was 11 minutes down. And here I am 6 years later, and I'm 5 minutes down solo, right? We're both solo. And, I think Jan's probably not going to get much quicker in the, Kona, for instance. He's probably going to swim a similar time. And I think I can get, better, because I think there'll be guys around me. And I think I have that possibility to get into that 50 low group. And Jan, I think, will swim around 47 something. So, I think I will get closer in a non-head-to-head race, which it's no guarantee, of course. But I know for certain that if he's solo off the front and I'm solo by myself, I can be right around 5 minutes down. So, yeah, it's good, but I am not content whatsoever. I will be content, I think, when I am under 3 minutes in an Ironman. Then I will be like, okay, time to focus, keep it there. That's good. Now let's get your biking back up. I want you 320 to 330 watts for the entire bike, and then I want you to run really well off of that. And that's that. But until we're there, we still have to keep working hard on the swim.
So you came off the bike and you were extremely cold, almost hypothermic. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I mean, whatever. Jan was experiencing the same thing, so it's apples to apples. But yeah, I mean, it was coming from the Tucson heat, and then it was, on average, my bike workouts, I had a few bike workouts where the average temperature was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for the entire workout, and then to do a bike, all of it, I'd say the average temperature was around 55 degrees Fahrenheit, of which 3 hours of it poured rain, and we were moving at 45 kilometers an hour. It's pretty well impossible to keep your heat in at those speeds, and with, I think I'm sitting on about 6% body fat at the moment. It is pretty well impossible to keep that heat in. So that was actually a bit of a confounding factor to the nutrition strategy, in that you definitely burn more energy because I was shivering for, solid 2 hours. Apples to apples, I thought training in the heat, 130 BPM, I thought, okay, on a lot of my workouts, that was good for 295 to 300 watts here outside in the heat. And I thought when I went to, 55 degrees and held 130 BPM, that 320 watts should feel exactly the same. And cardiovascularly, certainly it felt the same, but it is not apples to apples in terms of the power production. I was absolutely weak, unable to produce and hold 320, even though I had trained for hours at 320 equivalent heart rate. And so if the race occurred at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it'd be a different story. I would have done well. But, if you want to push 320, I don't know how you're going to push 320 without pushing 320. So that was a lesson. And we always knew that was a bit of an unknown. First time I ever tried to train through the Tucson summer. But no problem. I have spent a lot of time on Zwift, and Zwift was waiting for me when I got home, and I will go back onto Zwift and spend plenty of time at 320 to 380 watts for the remainder of the season.
So you changed up your nutrition plan, and this was the first Ironman in 5 Ironmans that you didn't walk, and not only did you not walk, you actually looked extremely fresh and with a good mental mindset during the run. Are you happy with your progression? Or do you feel like you're on the right track? Or are you on the right track, or do you feel like that you have a long ways to go?
Well, people can hate on us for doing this little head-to-head thing and not inviting anyone out, but I can tell you, you probably didn't want to be there because you would have got your ass handed to you by Jan Frodeno. So I saved you the feeling of that. Of course, you have to look at it from a personal standpoint, and I went, I don't know, I think I was 9 hours, 10 minutes in Coeur d'Alene, and then I went, 7:43 or something 3 weeks later. So obviously, you got to give yourself a pat on the back for that. Am I content with that? Absolutely not. I look at the deficits, and relatively speaking, in Kona in 2019, 15 minutes down to Frodo is fifth place. And so, if you're content with fifth place, then that's cool. But I do want to compete, and I do believe I have what it takes to compete. And so it was good. We're moving in the right direction. Give me a little bit of confidence. But no, we've got a long way to go.
So you currently, as you're sitting, you don't have your Kona qualification. What does the next 6 weeks look like for you?
I mean, I'm just having fun. This is good. I got nothing else to do now other than to understand how to do Ironmans properly. And so I don't care if I make it to Kona. I knew that this would be a long shot now doing this race. I could have easily said, sorry, Jan, I can't come. I'm going to go do Lake Placid and get my Kona spot. But I thought this was the opportunity of a lifetime. And after doing it, I know it was the opportunity of a lifetime. And so that doesn't mean I don't want to get to Kona. I'm going to do everything I can. But where my focus is right now is doing Ironmans, and at the end saying, yeah, I raced that thing. I actually raced it. And I slowed down because of mental weakness, not because my body was not functioning anymore. That's not fun. I've done that enough times. I am sick of it. I don't want to do it. If you beat me because you're fitter and you're just better and you're better at training and you're better at executing, you're just a better athlete, no problem. When you beat me because I'm walking, because my muscles have stopped functioning, it's not very satisfying. It's not very fun. Even though I push myself to extreme levels, it's not satisfying in any way. So this problem has not been corrected. It has been a problem. Every Kona that I have done, this has been a problem. Every hot race that I have done, this has been loss of salt in water has been the number one problem. And so it needs to be fixed. And I don't really care if it happens in Kona or where it happens, but I'm going to fix it. And so that is what my focus is. Now I am going to try and get that Kona spot. I'm going to try and get it in Copenhagen. And whatever. My only goal for Copenhagen is to race the damn thing. And this time in Copenhagen, the conditions will be a little bit warmer than in the Tri Battle, but it won't be crazy hot. And therefore, in Tri Battle, I blew up pretty heavy on the final 14 kilometers. And in Copenhagen, the goal will be, at the very least, to have that blow up. And let's say blow up at 35K, or better yet, not blow up. And have like a 1 or 2 minute tops positive split on the second half of the run. And that will be my only goal and my only thing that I will intend to do in that race.
Are you happy right now?
I'm hungry. I am motivated. Am I happy? Yeah, I love doing what I do. I get to train every single day, and I love training. And I get to meet really cool people. That was an amazing experience. Really invigorating, really the passion that these people have, that Jan's team has, that the people who on the ground who organized the event in Algoy was contagious. And I want to also do really cool and motivating things like those guys did. And so, unfortunately, I've got to keep working. I'm not that fit. After St. George, I basically went outside with all of my training, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I really reduced my intensity due to the heat. And don't get me wrong, I'm cardiovascularly insanely fit, but that doesn't win races. When you swim like me, if you can't hold 320 watts for an Ironman, yeah, probably not going to win. That's for certain. So I got to go back. I got to train hard. I got enough time to make another bump up for Copenhagen, and then if I get that KQ, I certainly got enough time to get another bump up from there. So I'm only gonna lessen my deficit to Jan between now and Kona. I mean, it's amazing. The appreciation for endurance sports certainly is a lot higher. The level of knowledge and that sort of thing is a lot higher. Just the casual person, even at the hotel, for instance, knew who Jan was, had heard, oh, wow, Jan's really famous. Like, you're not going to find that in North America. You're not going to go to a hotel and people are going to know who a triathlete is. So that's really cool. It's really nice to see. It makes me certainly want to go over and race over in Europe. Absolutely. The level is higher. I think the level of expectation is also higher. And, you need that. I think if you want to keep, the reality is where has the last 5 Kona champions come from? And that should tell you, there's a reason for that. And it is the level of passion, the level of commitment, the attention to detail. And when you go and you see that in real life and you experience it, you're like, wow, I thought I was really engaged and really giving my all, but there's quite a bit more to give. And so you have to go experience that. And so that's what I took home from that race. And yeah, I mean, from a fan standpoint, yeah, I'm 15 minutes down to Jan and I've got, this big entourage of people next to me, a guy with a huge Canada flag, whole group of people yelling, don't give in, keep pushing for nothing. I'm racing literally for pride, for nothing else. And these people had they enjoyed it so much that they were willing to devote 2 hours in the pouring rain to ride next to me and keep me motivated and keep me honest. And so, yeah, it's amazing. It's impossible not to give your best under those circumstances.
Are you in a good mental headspace going into your next couple weeks of training? You excited?
Spend a week with Jan, and if you don't come out more motivated and more hungrier than ever, well, I don't know what to tell you. You're dead to the world, I'd say. Jan is doing things. There's a reason. Don't get me wrong. He's talented and he's a hard worker, but man, he is also insane. His team is insane. They are at a different level than all of us, I would say, than everyone. The level of commitment, the level of no stone unturned, the attention to detail is much higher than I have ever seen in anyone else. And so I am hungry. I see lots of areas to improve. I see lots of areas to get up a notch or two. And so, is it going to happen this year? I have no idea. I'm going to do my very best. But, I certainly see the potential, and I certainly see moving forward that I can lessen that gap, undoubtedly.